I'm glad y'all are here. The fact that the NAACP and ministers have come together, it's an important message being sent to this community. It's an important message being sent to Senator Brown. And it's an important message being sent to the Delaware State Senate. I'm not happy. And I'm going to start by, let's make this comparison. When I ran for office in 2004, me and Mouse putting up signs out on Route 9. I promised him that I would do everything I could to get a library on the Route 9 corridor. $30 million library was dedicated in 2016, but it took me 8 years to get it in the budget.
That's right.
It took me 4 more years before it was finished. That's 12 years. Senator Brown has $40 million in the budget right now for a new library on North Market Street. He's 3 years in.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty good at what I do, but the young man is rolling.
Yeah.
You know the system and who plays, who the players are. The Attorney General of this state sent her top guns to prosecute Darius Brown. And ironically, the opening remarks of counsel for the prosecutor was, I don't have any witnesses, and I don't have video. Well, what in the did you bring the charges for in the first place? Now, let me make my major points. There's something in the law called selective prosecution.
Yes, sir.
I would respectfully represent today that Senator Brown his situation is the epitome of selective prosecution. There's also something in the law called malicious prosecution.
Yes, sir.
I would respectfully suggest that Senator Brown, his situation is the epitome of malicious prosecution because he's been treated differently, not because of what allegedly transpired, but because of how good he is at doing what he's doing. And because he's good at it as a black man, representing black people, fighting for all people. And see, folks will say, well, the governor sent the nomination for the judges over. Yeah, he did. But do you think the governor would have made sure he sent African-American nominees if Darius wasn't sitting there?
Well,
if he didn't have to confront a male African-American senator, it might have had a different result. But if you're the governor and Darius sitting there, would you send the nominations over with no African-Americans? No. He's making a difference. He's being effective, and that's why he's being prosecuted. Now, y'all, and I agree, said, restore him. I also say, Senator Sokola, cease and desist. Call the dogs off. You have no business after 35 years with an ethics commission that has no rules and regulations, no written procedures to take this on, to subject him to that while he needs to be doing his due diligence as our senator. Now, ignore me if you want. But one thing I'm not afraid to do is ask for federal help. Y'all keep running your mouth.
that's right.
Okay, and keep on disparaging him. And keep setting yourself up for defamation. Don't come crying when I pen the letter that says, U.S. Attorney for the District of Delaware, Civil Rights Division of the United States. You need to come in and investigate these investigators. Selective prosecution, malicious prosecution are all illegal. And if anybody thinks they're going to walk away unscathed, continue down this road, I would respectfully suggest they're sadly mistaken. And finally, send this message. When you play in this arena, I don't care if you're black, if you're white, if you're male, if you're female, you can't play in this arena if your thing's in. And I don't want anybody to think that just because you're a woman, you can't be playing in this arena. You can't be immune from criticism, argument, debate, and discussion. If that's the way you look at it, you're playing in the wrong arena.
Well,
My name's Richard Smith. Everybody call me Mouse. I've been around the scene since the early days when I joined the NAACP at 10 years old. I have never seen nothing like today. A couple weeks ago, I said in the paper when they took Lamar Moses and they found a way to free the police on that case, it was a sad day. It was one of my saddest days. Now I'm here again to say it's another sad day when it comes to Senator Brown. There's Brown. This man has been ridiculed by the ugly face of the Delaware politicians, Delaware politics, and the sin that you guys don't, too many of y'all don't know nothing about. This guy has been ridiculed by the sin using the Delaware way. Everybody else get a break, but black folks get through underneath the bus. We have never got a fair shake in this state. This state is like a plantation. 21st century plantation. This state is like being a country without no rights. This state, look at our neighborhoods, dirty, filthy, run down. Then look at 40 acres, nice, clean, walk the streets 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We have never got a good, nothing good in the state. It's time for us to wake up and say, all these problems we got in the black community among leadership, let's put them to the side.
Come on now.
Let's move together. Let's respect the preachers, what God put them here for. Let's respect the black leadership, what God put them for. Let's respect our organizations, and let's sit down and say, for once and all, this is not going to happen to a leader or a professor or a leader in our community no more.
yes.
We should have been the ones who called Senator Brown in and took him around the table. We should have been the one who say that you can't do this to Senator Brown. Now we're saying, brother, if I got to get with the preachers and get a petition and put all the state, it's time to say enough is enough, and we are not going for this again. Thank you.
No wonder when I was little and I would ride on the train with a shoebox full of chicken, and it would always be asked of me, where are you from? And I would always say, Delaware. And the statement that would come out of their mouths was a question. Delaware? We're known,
Come on.
and it's been noted that we're still where we've always been.
Come on, Bishop.
I'm 83 years old, and there's nothing that has changed.
Wow.
Somebody might say, "Oh, Bishop, don't say that. Don't say that." And you guys are always fussing and always, well, when you change up, we'll stop fussing.
Yeah, we'll stop fussing.
Until Delaware makes a change, we're not going to stop. As a woman, I know what we go through. But on the other side of the coin, justice is justice.
Yeah, that's right.
And the saying is, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to the senator, I suggest that you do the right thing. I suggest, because I know the persons that I'm seeing in the room where we are can get a prayer through. And if you know like I know, you best do what is right.
Yes.
Senator Darius Brown, listening to his accomplishments allows me to know why you're after him.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because he's a goat. He's the greatest of all time.
Good afternoon to you all, and thank you, Dr. Curry, for hosting us on this afternoon, and to IMAC constituents and to all of you that are here today. Thank you for your presence. My name is Bishop George E. Gibson II. I stand this afternoon as the president of IMAC, Interdenominational Ministers Action Council. We are comprised of women and men from all walks of life. I was reared in a family of women, had the honor of knowing my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my aunts. I have 3 older sisters. I am the baby boy and the only boy. I was birthed under the ministry of a woman bishop. I'm a supporter of women, a champion of women. I am a proud girl dad. And we that pastor our churches are filled with gifted and talented women. And as an organization, we do not condone abuse to women under any circumstances. We are committed to the integrated approach to support men and women, especially through our faith and mental health initiative. Senator Darius Brown has been exonerated in the court of law. The due process has found the senator not guilty. Even with the non-guilty verdict, he is committed to addressing his own inability to manage his mental health. He is committed to engaging in our faith and mental health initiative. The injustice that brings us here today that we desire to address has to do with the fact that the standard should be the same for everyone.
Sometimes there is justice, and sometimes there is just us. Amen. Will I ever accept the mistreatment of women? I couldn't love my mother if I did. I couldn't love my wife if I did. I couldn't love my 11-year-old daughter if I did. But enough is enough. We have to really look at the fact that he was tried in the court by his peers, not the politicians.
That's it. That's it.
And he was found not guilty. The legislative session begins this Tuesday, and we are calling upon Senator David Sokola. I hope I said his name right. I'll spell it for you. Sokola. We're calling for you, sir.
That's right.
We are calling for you, who is the president of the pro temp of the Delaware State Senate, to reappoint Senator Darius Brown as chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee and as a member of the Joint Capital Improvement Committee immediately.
Immediately.
You may say, I'm not listening. But sometimes, when you're not listening, you can be stung.
What we have witnessed is a public lynching. Back in the day when there was a lynching, people would stand around and be intimidated. And people would just be lynched, and people would say, oh my God, and just shake their head. But today, we're not going to allow one of our own, brightest and the best, to be publicly lynched.
That's right.
Without saying anything.
That's right.
The indications of the verdict the other day, I was talking to one of my colleagues, and I said, well, I thought in our system that an individual was presumed innocent before adjudicated. And it's quite apparent that he is now, his name is attempted to be tarnished in order to be ineffective. And I'm saying that to say it was a message that I brought today in our church was about an identity crisis. Senator Brown has been helping, assisting those in our community who have lost their identity.
That's right.
Those who don't know who they are, and those who don't know whose they are.
Well.
And so when he is restoration with those practices of coming back and recidivism and reducing recidivism and helping those legislative laws to help individuals to identify who they actually are, he is on the hit list.
Well.
Listen to all of you, and I concur with all of you said, especially one of the parts that Dr. Curry said. And I want the NAACP and IMAC, those other entities that are represented here, and all the pastors, that I stand with you this evening. I couldn't get out of my mind for a few days now, and I'll read exactly what was in my mind and just stayed there, and I shared that with Senator Brown. And as I sat, I was thinking and meditating, and here's what came to mind. I said, I'm confused. I'm confused. Maybe someone can help me understand this. It's bigger than what appears. I thought that in the penal system of a democratic society, a government, that you punish after the conviction. Not just start punishing at the allegation and continue to look for ways to do it. That need to be weighed in the balance. So maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe I am.
I am here today because I live in the 2nd District. I'm here today because he is my dear beloved senator. I'm here today because I believe enough is enough. And I believe that we have become what Tom Nichols calls, there is the death of expertise. He's an expert in every way. He not only cares about those who are least thought about and left out, but he cares about those who are in corporations trying to make a dime.
He not only cares about men and women who coming out of prison and need their justice and their rights restored, but he also cares about women who've been left out and have been marginalized, and you've heard it. I am urging Senator Sokola to restore him to his rightful place. We did not give those positions to him, he earned them. Senator Brown knows and can't say what I'll say. And what Dr. Curry has echoed, Delaware has a long road to travel when it comes to equal rights for all its citizens. In a couple of days, we will lift up Dr. King one more time. But I've told my friends I'm not listening to the I Have a Dream speech not one more time. Because I'm not dreaming and I'm not sleeping. I'm wide awake. And I appreciate that 100 million. And we expect it to keep on coming.
That's right. That's right.
We expect it to keep on coming. Because America indeed has written us a check marked insufficient funds.
And it's important that we're here today. I think in this context, from the NAACP's perspective, we've been fulfilling this and following this journey for 113 years. The oldest, the longest civil rights organization through our 113-year journey. The other part of our 113-year journey is having people like all of the leaders and religious leaders and people like that are all gathered today. Because if you think about it in this context, anything that we've ever accomplished, any trials and tribulations that we've had in terms of fighting the judicial system, excuse me, at the local, state, and federal level, the partnership that's always worked has been the NAACP and our clergy. And tonight is another example of that. We absolutely have to do the following. Clearly, it's non-negotiable, it has to be non-negotiable from my standpoint, that Senator Brown be completely, fully reinstated to his positions that he held before the incident occurred. That's non-negotiable.
He was the pastor, youth pastor at my church for 9 years. And as I was reading the various articles about him and what had taken place or what they alleged took place, it was if they were, the media was positioning him or saying that he was some type of misogynist. I know that was a lie. For the 9 years that he pastored at Manna Christian Fellowship Church as our youth pastor, he supported the women more so than he did the men. That kind of bothered me a little bit, but he started a program called Church Girls Rock. And for 8 years, that program produced some dynamic young ladies. Every Good Friday, he would have, as a part of the Church Girls Rock program, the 7 last words, and it would be presented by 7 young women. I am with everything that has been said here this evening. And I hope and pray that on Tuesday, something happens in regard to our, not request, but demands. And if it doesn't, well, you'll hear from us again. Because we won't stop here.
So, I taught about, maybe last year, I taught on purpose. And everybody, when they talk about living in your purpose, they look at the fluffy and the pretty part. But when you truly live in your purpose, there's an ugly side to it. Things are going to come after you because you're living what you were told to do by God. Darius is now seeing the ugly part. And what we need to do is unify and come together to let him know that we have his back. The one thing that's so sad that we see, especially in this society, when it comes down to especially black men, their name can be tarnished. And then years later, you come to find out that it wasn't true. When you look at our history, you look at what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you look at other places, when it came out to say, well, that really didn't happen. But the damage was already done. But we're here to let everybody know that this is not going to happen here. We're going to stand up, we're going to unite. They say all the time that power conceives nothing without demand. So let us demand that the right thing be done. Let us stand up and let everyone know that, yes, we are standing behind Senator Brown. Not only because of the things that he's done in the past, but we know what he will do in the future because he has proven that he loves his community.
We will take questions. I see the news journals here. But I do want to make clarity on something. I'm not a politician, I'm a pastor. And while I am certainly strong for praying, I don't have an issue with fighting. Because at the end of the day, the Bible teaches me that there come a time when a man must defend himself. So while one of our representatives who was politically correct and was careful, I want to say, for the press, for those who are watching this, Sister State Representative Mimi Brown, listen to me carefully. When a man is down, we're not supposed to step on them. That's right. Especially when they're one of ours. Your skin cannot be that thin to have your husband there. And for several people to come back and share with me who were there what really happened, and for it to be reported as if this big gorilla was going to take you out. First, I would challenge your husband, who is big, but I know it was not the way you put it out there. And through the grapevine, I did hear, I'm not a politician, I'm not elected, I'm not running for anything but for Jesus. It's very clear that there may be some possibility of you running for his seat.
Well,
put a stop to it now. It ain't gonna happen. He will be restored, if not in those positions, which we're gonna believe that too. But I'm very hurt and disappointed to hear what really happened, and for you to be that thin-skinned is just not right. And I look at you when I say that, and my phone number is listed, and I'll come meet with you. But I've heard several reports. The lie was the governor and everybody was saying, how dare he try to attack you? The devil is a liar. That is not how it happened. As y'all were going out for a few libations, thank you, preacher.
It was communion.
It is how we do it in the black community. We certainly talk loud. This is the lowest you've ever heard Pastor Kirby speak. Because remember, in the state of Delaware, I was the angry black pastor. Because we speak with authority and we're clear. But to treat him because he was down, to help the lynchmen lynch him, unacceptable.